Hey folks, I'm John Byrum, and along with my co-host and surfer brother here, Mike Anderson, we'll be diving into the world where we explore the art of creating music for the world to enjoy.
Yes, enjoy.
Songwriting is an art, and it's one that not everybody can do, but a lot of people do very well. Well, tonight, Slick, we have two special guests.
Okay.
Two. Mm-hmm. And they're a husband and wife songwriting team.
Cool.
And we're going to give you a sampling, folks, of a few of their songs written together as a team and individually. And I know these people personally. They're great folks, good friends of mine. But before we do that, what we want to do is encourage everyone to go out and support our local artists here in Monroe County by visiting the many local restaurants that provide live music. You know, there's a lot of people that do that.
A lot of live music in Monroe County.
Hey, you've got the Peachtree Grill. Yeah. You've got Ironworks.
Yes.
You've got the Porch at the RV Mecca Park. You've got Telecafe. You've got Senor Lopez and a whole slew of them in Sweetwater.
They sound great. They really do.
They really do.
Go out and support them.
Like Sarah Williams and Michael Cass and the Audio Lang Band and these guys, they're all really good professionals.
Very talented.
So we encourage everyone to go out and to hear these folks and give them our support.
Yes, we do.
So with that, I'm going to bring on our guest, and I'm really proud to have these two folks here. I've known Ted for many, many, many years. Please welcome to with us tonight here on Songwriter in the House, songwriting team, Tedd and Nita Graves, who between them have written many, many songs, some of which I've helped play and record with Ted. So please welcome Tedd and Nita Graves. Guys, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
We're good. We're real good. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you.
Good.
Well, good to hear you.
We can hear you. We can't see you, but you can see us.
Oh, I can see you just fine. Guys, let's just start at the beginning. How did, Ted, we're going to talk about your backgrounds some because I know what that is, but you guys, how did you guys meet?
We met in the studio.
In Nashville.
Really? Yeah.
In Nashville.
I'd taken a friend of mine who was also a country music artist, and I was on a label, Sims Records, down in Nashville, and I was helping a friend of mine pick out some songs, and Sims Records had sent me and my friend several songs to listen to, and he'd picked out several songs that he likes, and we went down to Nashville to record them, and unbeknownst to us at the time, Russell Sims, the owner of Sims Records, had invited a songwriter to come to the recording session of some of these songs, and it turns out that it was Nita.
Yeah. Mr. Sims called, and it was one of my very first cuts, actually, and it was in 2012. Wow. And he said, "We're going into the studio tomorrow in Nashville at Hilltop Records." Was it the first?
Hilltop, yeah,
you want to come down with us and hang out? That'll be great. And I thought, okay, tomorrow I've got to call into work. How am I going to do this? And it was very exciting watching how it all goes down as a kind of new songwriter, and all the people in the studio, the engineer, the musicians, the artists. The only other songwriter in the booth was Ted. So we started talking a little bit. He said, I've got a song I started years ago about Sugar Limb Road. We could co-write if you wanted to co-write one. I said, Sugar Limb Road. Okay. I said, what all do you got started on it already? He said, Sugar Limb Road. That's all we had. I said, okay.
Well, you got to start somewhere.
Started somewhere. So we started co-writing via email and talking on the phone over the next, 6 or 8 months. And then we started dating. The next thing I know, my butt's in East Tennessee, married. That's where I lived, in Murfreesboro. So, yeah.
Oh, but now your dad was in country music, wasn't he? Wasn't he related to country music somehow?
Well, my dad wrote for Hee Haw, the show.
That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
Comedy writer.
Yeah, comedy writer. And I-40 Paradise, the sitcom that they recorded over here on the Nashville network. So, but he always had the guitar and always taught us how to kind of think for ourselves, be creative, and not be afraid to write.
Were you on Hee Haw or did you go on I-40?
I was on I-40 Paradise.
Yeah,
I was little. Yeah, I was little. But
yeah, but you were there, right? You were there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That is incredible.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you guys met at the studio, and the rest is history. So what was Sugarland Road the very first song you guys wrote together, or do you have others?
That was the first one. You know, when we got married, my mom bought us this beautiful picture with this nice big frame, and it had the skyline of Nashville, and she had on it, "It all begins with a song." And after we started writing some together after we got married, let me tell you, it can all very well end with a song. I mean, you got to find that chemistry with your co-writers, you know, who does what and who. But finally, we found a groove on how to come out with some good songs. So we have co-written quite a few. I mean, they ain't all been cut, but there's still some on the back burner.
Yeah, I've listened to some of your stuff. I'll tell you what, it's all really good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ted, I know you and I go back to the 70s.
We surely do. Yeah.
New Country Grass and Cedar Run.
Yeah. Back when we were recording 45s.
45s. I still have those 45s, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sure do.
Yeah, I've got
still
some of those too.
Mm-hmm. You know, when did you realize you could really write a song? Because, you know, that's an art. That's something you just don't wake up one morning and say, I'm going to be a songwriter. When did you realize you could write songs?
You know, John and Mike, I'll tell you, I think any talent is God-given, whether it be songwriting or being an instrumentalist or being a vocalist or whatever. You've got to have some God-given talent there. You have to develop that. It's not just all bestowed upon you, I think, but you do have to. Everybody's got different talent. You know, I can't be an electrical engineer. I can't be a computer programmer. Those are not my talents. But songwriting is something that I decided I was going to. When I was just to back up, when I was 5 years old, I decided I was going to be a country music artist. And by the time I was 7, I was writing songs with verses and choruses and melodies, and I was playing enough guitar to be able to strum along with it. So about 7 years old is about when I started. So that's been a minute.
And here you are.
Yep, still at it, still writing. I'll write songs sometimes by myself, and then bring Nita in on them. Sometimes she'll have a hook or a lot of great lyrics, and we'll team together on that. So it just depends on what comes our way, I guess, as far as inspiration. You know.
Well, that's the one thing I was going to ask each one of you individually. How do you get inspired? I mean, I write a few songs here and there. I'm not nearly as prolific as you guys are, but you know, I have to be inspired by something that catches my eye or my heart or, you know, whatever. And then I struggle with it sometimes. How do you guys get inspired? What gets you started?
You know, I finally, you know, we have writers that sing, singers that write, writers that don't sing, and singers that don't write. And I myself do not aspire to be an artist. I'm not the best singer. I'm not the best guitar player. And finally, but with words and lyrics, I know I'm average or above average with my words. But finally, there comes a time when you have to, I used to say acknowledge your weaknesses, but someone told me along the way, you need to acknowledge your strengths and bring in where you're weak at, a co-writer that's just as good with the music and rhythm and melodies that I am with lyrics, and then merge. That's called there's a word for that. I can't remember, prodigy or something. They have a word where the lyric marries the melody. So right. A lot of my songs that I've co-written the past few is with a producer out of Nashville, Frank Green, who is really good with rhythm and melodies and the music production. And then with my lyric, and we just were meeting every week, sometimes twice a week for 3 or 4 years in a row, and just turning them out. Whoever was looking for a song on a project, I wanted a song on it. I didn't care who they were. Of course, it would have been great if it was Garth Brooks, you know. But,
oh yeah, absolutely.
But that's how Kim Williams, you know, got. And Garth was just playing down at the Commodore in Nashville as an up and coming writer, and he actually demoed Friends in Low Places. And then later, when he got his deal and was working on his first album, he remembered demoing that song and having liked it, you know. So whoever's looking, if you're doing an album or an EP, I would love the opportunity to pitch a song to you to be on there, and then let her sit. You never know what might happen with that song or with that artist.
Well, that's why we have this show, Nita and Ted, because we want to give the songwriters as much exposure as we possibly can.
That's great. Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I mean, like we had our last show we paid tributes to Toby Keith, who is also a fabulous songwriter. But, one of the songs we're going to share with the audience is Nita's song, Bad Boy Good. That's one of those songs that, it sounds like that's something you've experienced. I mean, I write from experience, from what I've experienced in my lifetime. Is that how this song came along, or was it just a good hook and you just took off with it?
Honestly, this may not be correct. And I always look for a hook, like in conversations out with people, if they say something that might be, oh, there's a song in there somewhere, I'll text it to myself so I don't forget. But a lot of my songs, if I have the hook and a line, I'll try to write around that hook. But 80% of the ones that I've had cut are by male artists, because the majority of country is male, and the market for the country songs was just more male oriented. It is what it is. So some of it, which gets a little tricky when I'm doing them live sometimes, because this is for a male to sing, but it is kind of from experience on a lot, and then kind of trying to think outside the box and write around the hook, and just taking every line and trying to pick it up a little, give it a little more spice.
I remember one time, and Ted, I think you'll remember this too. We were playing up in Nashville at the Bluegrass Inn. This was many, many years ago. And on the way back, we were talking about something, and somebody said something, and all of a sudden you said, give me a pencil and a piece of paper. And you started writing a song in the back seat of the car right then and there, because somebody said, I don't know what it was. I don't remember. It's been such a long time ago, but I thought, how does he do that?
Something like that. And Nita said something similar as well, as just by conversations, watching other people. I write sometimes from experience, but I also write from others' experiences. So there's a lot around if you just get in that mindset and you pay attention. There's a lot of inspiration out here.
And I learned something great as a songwriter. I was writing with Kim Williams one time, actually, and I came in with a hook, and we actually wrote to that hook. And the song was, you only love me when I'm leaving, so I'm leaving you tonight. Anyway, so we wrote a song. But one of the lines in the song that I had already kind of had thrown around was, I'll push your buttons, baby, and you push mine. It was kind of risque, Kim. But Kim, this is a perfect example of a hit songwriter, and I learned so much from this. Kim took that line and just notched it up a little to a higher quality, because my line was, I'll push your buttons and baby, you push mine. He said, how about I'll push your buttons and baby, you unbutton mine. I said, wow, that wins. That is good.
That's good. I love that.
Just take it up a notch every time you can, don't just be blah, That's what I'm teaching Austin, my son. He's out co-writing and performing and singing. And so
I've heard some of his stuff.
Yeah, he's doing I'm amazed that he can hear a hook and a line and stuff. So, yeah.
And for those in our audience who don't know what a hook is, it's a few words in the song that just grab you, like Bad Boy Good. That's the hook. Or, like a good hook would be the name of your album, Ted, The Day My World Turned Blue. That's a hook. So just to let the folks know who's listening to us what a hook is, because we know what it is, but they may not. Now, I see you guys have your guitars there together, which I think is awesome. Is that a Takamine you've got there, Ted?
It is, yes. It's a 2007 Takamine, and it does well for me on stage, so I've not seen fit to replace it. So
every time I've seen you play, you got a different guitar in your hand.
I believe the guitars have their own room in our house.
You know how many you need, don't you? How many guitars? The answer is one more.
Well, somebody asked me one time how many guitars it took to make you happy. I said, well, it's not 27. So, So it must be 28, right? So you guys want to play a song for us? Give us a little taste.
Sure, we can do one. And
the duet that we
co-wrote? Yeah. Here's one that has not been recorded by anyone, and it is available, although we may have wound up recording it someday down the road. But
whoever wants to cut this, it is available.
Yeah,
we can countrify it or R&B it.
Darling, you could be a poster child on TV, but girls gone wild. You ain't afraid to dance all by yourself. No.
You wouldn't have to be crazy to be with me. There are times though when it hits.
You're hard to handle.
I'll strut my stuff while you're fantasizing.
You're hard to handle.
Can you keep up? I know you'll die trying.
You may be hard to handle, but you're easy.
Been known to smoke when I drink beer. I ain't ever been accused of ever being laid back. Oh,
sometimes you're like a summer rain when a storm or hurricane. I try and faint. I can't hold you back.
Don't hold me back.
You're hard to handle.
I'll strut my stuff while you're fantasizing.
You're hard to handle.
Can you keep up? I know you'll die trying.
You may be hard to handle, but you're easy. I might just strum a bit right here. Girl, that's just the way you live. You're fun, you're impulsive.
Come on, let's double down and play it right.
All night long in foreign cars, find cigars under the stars.
Which one you wanna be, Bonnie or Clyde?
You're hard to handle.
I'll strut my stuff while you're fantasizing.
You're hard to handle.
Can you keep up? I'll bet you'll die trying.
You may be hard to handle, but you're easy. Yeah, you're hard to handle.
Oh, I ain't big on crying.
You're hard to handle, but you've been charged with reckless driving. You're hard to handle.
They never got a conviction.
You're hard to handle.
With a mild Dr. Pepper.
Maybe hard to handle, but you're easy.
That is awesome. Hey, Brad Paisley and Carrie Underwood, if you're listening, that's a song perfect for you two guys.
Yes, that would be good.
I'm telling you, that's kind of rockabilly, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Like the tempos, yeah.
I love the words to that. That is awesome. Well, like I said, we've got a sampling that we're going to play of the songs you guys sent us, but I want to talk just a little bit about each one of them before we do this. I know, Ted, you wrote that song, Mansion Tumble Down. Awesome song, dude.
We co-wrote that one.
Mm-hmm. You did co-wrote that one? Okay,
we did. And what I learned, we talked about methods of co-writing together. Sometimes it works to where I'll come up with a melody and get it, maybe a melody and words, and maybe get it 90%. But I can't get it quite across the finish line, and I realize it's not. And one of Nita's greatest strengths is that she can come in and take each line and just rip it to shreds and mold it to make it a much better, much stronger line. And Mansion Tumble Down was one of those kind of situations there. I started out with that. I might have had 8% on it, and then she came in and put the bridge in that thing and just really brought it up to 100%. And that's our first single off my new blues album is Mansion Tumble Down. We get a lot of airplay off of it.
Yeah, I've been following it online, and it's a great song. I mean, it tells a story. It's a really good song. One you wrote, Nita, we just talked about it a minute ago, Bad Boy Good. It was recorded by the Leverton Band.
Yeah,
they're really good. They're really good. Yeah, I've never heard of them, but man, Those guys are awesome.
Down in Alabama, I think. Benny Leverton and Paula, they were brothers. Then I think they've got someone else in the band too. But they did a video on it, which was kind of cool to watch. One of my first country music videos. You got to see your song come to life. But it again, that was the hook. I have another song, To Hell with the Good Girl Thing, for a female artist. And I must have been going through a
Gretchen
good
Wilson.
phase.
Give it to Gretchen Wilson.
Yeah. It is. Karen Waldrop actually recorded. She got it.
Okay.
She demoed it for us. She's the one that was on the Voice series.
Yeah.
So we had Good Girl Thing, and then I wrote another one. It was called Good Girl Bad. I want this good girl bad. So I think I was on a good roll there for a while, and then we did Bad Boy Good, Good Girl Bad, Good Girl Thing. So I was like, okay, I need to get off the good. But it's so it's kind of running around the hook, and I always like the up tempo kind of rapid fire lyric.
Right.
Prefer doing. I think because they're easier to sing, and when I'm doing them live, I can perform those. So yeah.
Well, it's a great song. The Bad Boy Good. I mean, it's catchy. It's really catchy. Now, the third song we're going to talk about is one that we actually had showcased it on this show before, Ted, with your brother Tim. Bluegrass DNA. Now, he told us the story of that, and I laughed. I just couldn't get over that. Now, as I understand it, he called you up and said, "Hey, I got this hook here. I need you guys to write me a song about it." And you asked him, "Well, how long do we have?" He said, 24 hours.
That's right. He called like on a Saturday, and they were going into the studio on Monday.
On Monday, yeah.
So we had just 24 hours to put something together.
Wow. Well, you knocked it out of the park on that one.
Well, thank you. It come together really well, and it's done well for them.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. But that's a mark of a good songwriter, is that when people like to listen to it and want to play it again and again and again. Because I know I've played that song 100 times for people. You got to hear this. You got to hear this. So folks, we're going to take just a few minutes here and listen to this sampling of these songs. And then we're going to come back and finish up with Ted and Nita. So we'll be right back.
Back in high school, sweethearts for so long. We weathered storms and made our future plans. We set our vows and said I do, but now it seems we don't. Our solid rock foundation couldn't stand. I feel an earthquake coming on to the love that we once shared. Pictures of our family home spinning through the air. Clouds roll in, the winds will blow as lightning bursts the ground. We're standing on the front steps, watching our mansion tumble down. I was baptized with whiskey on my breath. This living and a sinning scared my mama half to death. When I trudged down to the river shore, smelling like the night before, the preacher man and mama screaming hallelujah, said, "Can you feel the Holy Spirit running through you?" All I thought about was a running away when mama hit her knees to pray. Lord, make this bad boy good. He's just misunderstood. Lord, help him brush the dust off his knees if you would. Mama, bless her heart, did the best she could to make this bad boy good. This bad boy good. We'll make sure their souls forever live on. We got bluegrass DNA. We got bluegrass DNA.
It's in our blood. You can hear it in the picking when we play. We make sure their songs forever live on. We got bluegrass DNA. We got bluegrass DNA.
Folks, Sam Ash is now an official affiliate partner of our program, Songwriter in the House, right here on the Mike Anderson Productions YouTube channel, and we are certainly proud to have them. You can access the world's largest online inventory of musical instruments and gear with a heritage that goes back to 1924 and over 50,000 products on their website. Sam Ash is the place for all the instruments and accessories a musician could possibly ever need. They have a large selection of acoustic and electric guitars, basses, drums, amplifiers, keyboards, microphones, band and orchestral instruments, DJ gear and studio setups, electronics and recording software. Best of all, you'll be assured to receive the same knowledgeable service that Sam Ash has given its customers since their 125-year inception. That's a long time.
Long time, almost as old as we are.
Almost, but not quite.
Not quite.
Look for the Sam Ash Music link in the description below and help support this channel. Remember, when you make purchases using the link, it won't cost you anything extra, but you'll be helping keep this channel alive.
Amen,
right?
brother. Amen.
So samash.com, visit them today.
God, that was incredible. Those three songs are, I mean, what can you say? They're professional. They're well done, well produced, and I don't know how you do it. Mike and I write songs together. I mean, we understand the dynamics of songwriting. Two people writing songs. The way it works for us is I write the lyrics normally, and he writes the music.
That's the way we are. Yeah.
And it works great for us because, but it's like to your point, Ted, is that sometimes I'll have something, he'll push me across the finish line, or he'll come to me with something and I'll push him across the finish line. You got to have that dynamic working. But what's next for you guys? I mean, where you go? I know, Ted, you guys, you perform with your all-star band regularly up in the Knoxville area. And folks, if you get a chance, you need to go see this band. Mike and I went over to Crossville and saw him at the, what was that theater over there, Ted, in Crossville?
Palace Theater.
Yeah. And these guys put on a show. Let me tell you. I don't know where you got that steel player from. And that guy, man.
He's great.
Yeah. Oh, everybody in your band's good. So, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, they're all great musicians. They really are. Yeah, we're doing we're working on promoting this new album, and we've had one single off of it, as we mentioned. We're getting ready to have a new single off of the new album here before too long, and promote that out. We're doing a concert up in Morristown. Tim Graves and the Farmhands, myself, and the All-Star Band, and then a gospel group there as well are going to be doing a show at the Morristown High School, West High School, in October the 19th, if I can say the date. And then
absolutely.
And then October 26th, the Cherahela Skyway's coming up festival, and that's the Uncle Josh Graves Memorial Festival, which Uncle Josh was mine and Tim and Mike's uncle and Mitzi's uncle.
Yep.
Our dad's brother. And John, you knew Josh quite well back in our bluegrass days together. We did a lot of shows with Uncle Josh, and
love that man.
And doing the and Tellico Plains being his hometown, our hometown, they do the festival every year there. So the Graves brothers are going to be there, and then Tim Graves and the Farmhands are also going to be there. That's October the 26th.
Yep,
real soon.
I'm glad you brought that up because we were going to talk about that because you've done this. What now? This has been like your third year in a row. You've done this.
This is our fourth year to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know every year, folks, there's been like 5,000, 6,000, 8,000 people at this thing, and it goes over really well. And you guys put on a great show every year.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to it again this year. I've been asked to be the MC, whatever that means.
Yeah,
great.
I don't know what that stands for. But the 26th, now the festivities up there start at what, 10 o'clock?
I'm thinking 9 or 9:30. The dope roll contest kicks off,
okay.
and that's one of the things that they do in honor of Uncle Josh is the dope roll contest. And
yes, they do.
And my brother Tim Graves will mention him. He is 16 times Dobro Player of the Year and Grammy Award winner. I mean, he's right up there in the Bluegrass Hall of Fame.
Yes, he is.
He has done so well, and he heads up the competition. So we always have a good turnout for that. And they do a very fair contest. The judges sit with their backs to the stage, and they don't know. We're very careful. And as MC, I'm sure you'll be very careful not to mention any names of the Dobro contestants. They just have to stand up there. This is number one, number two, number three, and they play. And then the judges, with their backs turned to the musicians, they tally the scores. So it's always a lot of fun. And then after that, then I think the Graves Brothers goes on that morning as well.
Well, that's, I actually knew a kid that was in there a couple of years ago. Norman Humphreys played the dobro up there, and he could play. He was really a banjo player, but you got to have that 3-finger roll. By the way, Ted, let me ask you, hold up your right hand. Hold it up where I can see it on camera. No, I can't see it. There we go. Well, where are those finger picks, dude?
You know what? I play with a straight pick now.
Do you really?
Yes, I do. But I'll use the other fingers now. Let's see if I can get that camera like this underneath. But I'm not using the finger picks anymore as much. No, I got away from that. About 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, I've really started playing lead guitar in earnest.
Yep.
And so I went to a straight pick for that. But,
okay, I was just curious because, man, that's the thing I remember. You had those 3-finger picks on there.
Sure did.
Well, guys, we appreciate you guys being here and talking with us today. We wanted to make sure that we had you on here. You're really the first live songwriters we've had on our show now, and we wanted you there because I know you guys. I know how good you are, and you turn out a lot of good stuff. So best of luck to you guys. Good seeing you guys.
Thank you, John. Thank you for having us.
See you October 26th.
See you October 26th.
We'll be there.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Well, folks, we've enjoyed spending our time with you today. Slick, you got any closing words?
Just come back and see us.
Come back and see us. We're going to try to do as many of these as possible, as often as possible. So if you've got songwriting in your blood, any songwriters, send them our way. We want to talk to them. We want to get them some exposure and let the world see what they can do. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye, good night, and we are out of here.